I wanted to share a quick story about a woman named Sue. Sue is a senior executive, amazing woman that I have been blessed to work with the last year and a half. And that is not her name, just so you know, because when I work with people, it's highly, highly confidential. So that is not her name. But she had been impacting hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of driving business. And 2020 was even a better year than 2019 for her. And it continues to be even better into 2021. And when she was telling me about some of the things that she accomplished, she almost belittled them a little bit. And she said it wasn't a big deal. She's gotten all this recognition and she had the numbers to prove for it. She's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And I said, hang on a second. It is a huge deal. So whether you are responsible for huge initiatives or whether you're responsible for having a crucial conversation or getting something done that's really important, it's so crucial that we start to speak up for ourselves, to really own our impact. I like to say, hone it and own it. And let me share a couple reasons why that is so important. And here's the thing. Before we get started with that, I totally understand, and I've heard from a lot of people that it is not with, it's not within their culture to speak about their accomplishments. It is not within their personality. They didn't grow up doing it. They're not comfortable with it. And I understand that 100%. But here's the thing. It's so important that we take responsibility for getting the recognition that we want and deserve. And there's, of course, a lot of things that external factors that play in, and it would be nice to get that recognition without having to toot your horn and really speak up for yourselves. But it is at least partially our responsibility to do that. So I want to share a couple reasons why it is so important. Then I'm going to share a couple strategies how to do it and do it in an authentic way. The first reason is if you don't speak about the things, not just your accomplishments, but the things that you are passionate about, the things that you love to do, the things that you really hit out of the park. And I'm talking about large and small. It doesn't have to be a huge initiative. Other people are not going to know. So when there's conversations had, or when people are putting their head together, considering new roles or anything like that, your hat may not be in the arena. You may be limiting yourself because you're not speaking up. People don't know. And a lot of times there is a myth that if I do a really good job, that will speak for itself. And that is a myth, because a lot of times you might be known as someone who gets the job done, but no one's going to know what was involved. They're not going to know the intricacies. They're not going to know what is your black belt that allowed the job to get done, or to have the job get done in such an amazing way. So if we don't speak up about our impact, speak up about our area of influence, or the things that we really do and do well, large and small, we may be limiting ourselves to get the recognition that we want and deserve. And the second reason is other people are watching. So whether you consider yourself a role model or an influencer or not, just know that other people are watching, and they're going to observe whether you really speak up about your accomplishments or if you kind of belittle them a little bit and play them down. And this is going to impact how they speak about their accomplishments. And this is important for two reasons. One is it impacts our internal self-efficacy and self-esteem. In other words, our belief in ourselves that we can get things done. And it also impacts our externally, people's understanding of what we can do. And also they'll know what to come to us for. They'll know when they can lean on us and what they can depend on us for. And so you want to make sure, so you get the impact you want and deserve, that you're not limiting yourself. And also you want to make sure that you are being a great role model for others, because others are watching. Now, keep in mind, there's a couple ways to get started with this if you are thinking, I don't know about this. Or even if you do speak up for yourselves, I want you to think about how to do it in an even more strategic way. Okay. Now, one thing would be to schedule a time to write down some of the things that you have accomplished, some of the things that you love, some of the things that you know that you're good at. A lot of times these are the same things. And also keep a journal, keep a running tab of it. And then choose one person that you're going to share this with. And that would be, someone who could benefit from it. It could be a subordinate, it could be a senior leader. A lot of times it's really important to share with senior leaders. So they're very aware of what you're doing and why you're passionate about it and what you're really good at. And there's ways to do it, like I said, in an authentic way. And so the way that you can do that is just be passionate about it. Say, you might be aware I hit this, this project went really well. Our team really came together. And I just really wanted to share with you what I loved about doing this project and how I, for example, empowered others, or how just think of what your black belt is and what you loved about it and communicate it in some way. Of course, in person is always best, even though none of us are really in person yet. But if you can have just a few minute Zoom call or virtual meeting, that's excellent. But just do it any way that you're comfortable. So start writing things down. This can be really helpful too, as you're writing things down too, in case you ever need to redo your resume, your CV, or what have you, just to have a running total. But that's just very ancillary. It's just a way to write things down so you can understand what to talk to someone else about and really choose someone to speak with it about. Get in the habit of that. I would recommend trying to do that maybe once a week, every other week. Get on a cadence with that. Now, this, of course, is for you to get and start taking control over getting the recognition that you want and deserve, but it's also so others benefit as well. Others see you speaking up for yourself. Others understand what your black belt is and what you love. And so you can now be the go-to person. So here's to you being amazing. I really hope that you really acknowledge yourself more and really share the word. And like I said, hone it and own it, because the world really needs to know about all the good that you're putting into it. Here's to cheering you on, and I'll see you next time.